Greetings, Dungeon Delvers, and welcome to the pilot episode of Shoulda Had a D8, where we invite fans and cast members to join us as we discuss the events that transpired in the previous chapters of Descent into the Void. I am your resident Tale Weaver, aka Dungeon Master Omar, and I will be discussing the world of our campaign. Descent into the Void is a multi-planar adventure that draws inspiration from anime and manga such as Made in Abyss, Sword Art Online, Full Metal Alchemist, Attack on Titan, among many others. Using the mechanics of Dungeon of the Mad Mage, an entire story was built around these elements. The first world we're introduced to is the Broken Lands, a desolate wasteland with few resources and the population packed together towards its center. Over 1,000 years ago, there was a great cataclysm that terraformed the planet, causing it to turn from its spherical shape to a toroid, donut-shaped planet with a giant hole in the middle. Over the years, people would venture down into the depths of this hole deemed the Void in search of answers, meaning, or a better life. This caused different factions and guilds to be built, many of which purpose is to map out and discover new wonders within the Void. You see, the Void is a pathway that connects many different planes together. The deeper you go, the more dangerous yet profitable it gets. There is one catch. Coming back up is an issue. Adventurers learn that the Void does not like it when people have left its depths, and are inflicted with a curse upon exiting each level. These curses vary, but can cause detriments to your vitality, spirituality, and mentality. Many guilds have ways to counteract this curse. One such is the Seekers Guild, a guild dedicated on the discovery and mapping of the Void and the worlds within. They developed a magical potion called Felix Felicis, Liquid Luck. Though rare and difficult to make, counters the effects of the curse. We first meet our heroes, King, Duran, Horatio, and Scarlet, at the Broken Lands Seeker Guild in a town called Cardigale. The Seekers Guild at this point has already set up a network throughout the Void and its many planes, and hired adventurers to continue mapping out its depths and return artifacts that may answer the question, what is the Void? Armed with tools and gears, such as a compass that always points to the nearest Seekers Guild, our heroes join forces and climb down the depths of the Void, each with their own reasons. Within the Void are strange flora and fauna unlike seen anywhere else in the Broken Lands. One such creature attacked our heroes, who fled for their lives through the twisting caves until reaching a doorway that opened up to a mountainous plain known as the Cull. Full of monsters and dangers, they fought their way through, testing their wits and battle prowess until finding the gateway down into the first actual level of the Mad Mage dungeon. No one knows why full dungeons are placed before entering certain planes, but nonetheless it holds many artifacts and secrets any seeker would kill for. Although mostly excavated by other adventurers, our heroes found many items and fought their way through before exiting the dungeon and entering the next plane, a sunny, sandy, hot desert world known as the Land of the Fallen Star. The Land of the Fallen Star is a world inhabited mostly by Aarakocrans. There are many adventurers who stop their journey and live here amongst these people, and the economy has grown because of it, though it has its own dark secrets. Legend has it that the goddess Acadia would come down from the heavens in the form of the Ilrabu, the chosen child, and bring all of the plane to a utopia. The Aarakocrans await this day, though after hundreds of years it has never come. Our heroes venture to the capital city of Galim, which is run by the religious leaders, the Pontifex Zorden, and the High Priestess Venta. Allegedly, the child of the Pontifex and High Priestess was supposed to be the Irabu. The kingdom of Galim ran on a caste system. Eagles, hawks, and falcons were at the top as nobles, while crows, sparrows, and ravens and pigeons were at the bottom. Then there were the foul feathers. These were Aarakocrans who had a mix of different species in their blood. Deemed to be abominations, the Pontifex blamed these citizens for the reason why Acadia has not returned, causing a stigma to be placed on them. Most foul feathers had their wings clipped or bound, denying them the right to fly. One such person was a crow Aarakocran by the name of Makar, who joined our heroes during the time in the Land of the Fallen Star. Our heroes were able to save the city of Galim, from an alleged terrorist attack by a group called the Tanawan. This gave them enough renown to receive a reward from the Pontifex High Priestess and their army general commander Ardun. They also received a mission to find the Tanawan and go into peace talks to end their attacks. Many events happened along the way, including them meeting their fifth party member, Silmith, an Aarakocran noble who left his family in disgrace and sentenced as a foul feather. They also found this Plane Seeker guild, worked with its leader Natasha to discover more information about this plane and the depths below in the void. One of such was that Horatio's family was tied to it, Seekers before him who were held in high regard within the Seekers Guild. The group went off with Makar to find the Tanawan and broker peace, but when found, discovered that the Tanawan were not a terrorist group, but freedom fighters. The Pontifex was lying about the truth of Acadia and the Arabu, using the excuse of the Foul Feathers and the Tanawan to shift blame as unrest with the citizens were rising. The earlier attacks on the city was orchestrated by the Pontifex himself, and the Tanawan looked to remove him from the throne. Venta and Ardun also secretly worked with the Tanawan under the Pontifex's nose. Unfortunately, the religious tyrant placed a tracker on our heroes and found the base, capturing everyone but Duran and Makar and sentencing them to death as traitors and terrorists. Before the sword was swung at their public execution, Duran and Makar appeared and during a side adventure of their own, discovered that Makar was the Ilrabu himself. In a selfless act, he shattered his own soul to bring forth Acadia within. Freeing our heroes, they battled the Pontifex and his dark curse-like magic. Defeating him and saving the land from this tyrant, they worked with Ardun, Venta, and the Tanawan to rebuild the government. They had liberated this plane and thus took on that as their party name, the Liberators. It is also here that they discovered a secret about the Void. An ancient scroll revealed that a wizard named Hallister may have created the event that caused the Void and wanted to use its powers to enact revenge on the gods in the astral plane after they damned him to an unknown prison. He would use a naive goddess named Persephone to create his revenge. Scarlet, their Warforged party member, also received visions of a dark place and a calling for her to return to the bottom of the void. She had lost all her memory and wanted to go deeper to find out who she truly was. King and Horatio also received their own prophecy from the Urabu. King was called the King to be crowned and would find his destiny deeper in the void, and Horatio was called Son of Cain. His family had their own ties to the void in some shape or form. They were somewhere in this dark maze, and he would have their lives in his hands. One would die and the other would live. Keeping this all in their hearts, they journey forward, going deeper into the void, leaving Galeem behind. As they traveled to the second dungeon floor, throughout the strange environment of the void, Duran ran into his warband from the Broken Lands, the Valkyrie. Here it was revealed Duran's purpose of going into the void, to stop his warband from enacting an evil plot. They believed that the lands were broken on the surface because of the vast amount of humans. There was an old Valkyrie legend that stated that humans caused the Great Cataclysm. And now his warband, led by a strange outsider drow named Doramo, who promised them a way to make their dreams come true. Duran defended humanity as he had humans in his party members as well as half-breeds, but his warband threatened that if he interfered, he would meet the same fate. But something wasn't right. Something was off with his brethren. Before he could say anything else, they left, and Duran kept this a secret from the rest of the group. Finally, making it to the next dungeon, they fought through trials and found magical discoveries up until King was captured by a zombie beholder, dragging him to the next world called Duskhaven. Duskhaven is a world that also went through a great cataclysm. Is it the same as the surface world? That remains to be seen. But this cataclysm caused a tear in reality, causing demons to climb through from the abyss. Now demon-ridden, the balance of energies were off, and night and day formed into one, and the world was permanently covered in a blanket of dusk. The only thing that protects the citizens of Duskhaven are magical crystals that, when combined with a substance called Heaven's Dew that grows from Heaven's root, plays a silent song that only the divine and arcane can barely hear, but can destroy and keep demons at bay. The larger the crystal and the more dew used, the bigger the barrier. And each city had one of these if they could afford it. In order to get this dew, someone of divinity such as a paladin or cleric must pray over the heaven's root and capture the dew. But here's the catch. Heaven's root can only grow in Thelos, the central arcane country, and crystals are grown naturally in the northern country of Shiverin. To the east was the Black Kingdom, where demons reside and have built their own society. A trade agreement has been enacted between Shiverin and Thelos, who trade the resource of crystals and Heaven's Dew. Queen Camilla rules Shiverin, and King Terminus rules Thelos. Our heroes join forces with an NPC called Jade, a mystical witch doctor who had the power to walk through dreams and see pieces of a possible future. She found where King had been captured, a world called the Adverse, which was between this realm and the Demon's realm. The Beholder was in fact possessed by Hallister, who used King to draw out Scarlet. It was revealed that she was a general in his Dark Warforged army, and he was beginning preparations to enact his revenge, needing her to lead it. Memories began to flood her mind, and she remembered standing over a pool of dead corpses, a Warforged army marching behind her. A darkness began to swirl in her heart, but the Liberators were able to destroy this avatar of Hallister and free King. Now together again, Jade requested that the group help her find her missing friend, a cleric named Demona, who had went out to gather Heaven's Dew and had not returned. Her magic blocked by an entity. After searching, the group managed to find Demona, who was trapped by a large demon. Duran's warband somehow summoned it, but it was out of control. After the demon was dispatched, a strange metallic shard was pulled from its body, something that Dorama was looking for, and his whole reason of conjuring this specific demon. Before the Valkyrie could claim it, Syl grabbed it, instantly becoming inflicted with visions and skull-breaking headaches. The Liberators captured one of the Valkyrie before they could escape, Galdrim, Duran's father figure and mentor. After pumping him for information, they found that the Valkyrie were working for Doramo, who promised that he would build a weapon that could erase humanity forever, and he needed their help to find all the pieces. The next piece was in Shiverin. Before leaving off to Shiverin to stop them, Jade gave one last prophecy to the group: the smell of destiny upon Horatio and King, a return to the depths for Scarlet, and Duran and Syl would wield a legendary weapon that could be used for justice or calamity depending on whoever is using it. With the captive in hand, the group headed off to Shiverin. Shiverin is a snowy northern region inhabited mostly by tieflings. Demons are drawn here more than Thelos, which is why it is thought the reason Heaven's Root cannot grow here. Queen Camilla has a demon fighting force known as the Demon Dancers, who harness the powers of dance movements to unlock a dark but pure energy to control elemental forces: stone, storm, flame, mist, and cloud. Led by the tiefling daimyo, warden of Shiverin, Kaijin, each dancer had something called a vagary, which corresponded with one of the elements. And it seemed that only tieflings were able to unlock this power, though it was stated that it resides in everyone. A gift given by their patron goddess, Nyx. Throughout their journey, the Liberators discovered the Greek gods are called the New Gods here, and the Forgotten Realm gods are considered the Old, with the new gods being more powerful and worshipped. Continuing with their journey, the Liberators, alongside Genju, captain of the Flame Demon Dancers and nephew to the daimyo, went through a dangerous canyon called Frostbite. There they found a cave inhabited by a great demon known as Enceladus, the sire of insanity. Before Enceladus was able to eat them all, King planted the Heaven's Root seed that was given to him by Jade in the cave, praying to Mylike, his patron goddess, for salvation. At the last moment before their demise, a great tree grew from the seeds, shooting out Heaven's Dew within the cave, binding with the crystals that grew within and creating a barrier, pushing out the great demon to an unseen fate. Unfortunately, his power still left a mark upon our heroes, and they were all cursed to live in a nightmare. Scarlet attacked Galdrim and caused a rift between the party, King and Syl wanting to end the Valkyrie's life, and Duran and Horatio seeking leniency and redemption. Before the group could slaughter themselves, they awoke from the nightmare, Scarlet learning that the darkness within was growing. She decided to leave the group, trying to keep them safe. This left a hole in all the rest of the Liberators' hearts. They continued to Frostmourne in silence and met with the other Demon Dancer captains and the daimyo. Along with the leader of the Seekers Guild, Lancel Guerrero, they learned of a story involving that cave and Enceladus, which may hint to something more sinister in its depths. The daimyo Kaijin sent off 3 Demon Dancer captains, including Genju, in order to investigate this cave. Now the Liberators are taking much needed downtime to advance themselves in the Seekers Guild and purchase items throughout the beautiful city of Frostmourne. Led by the new player character Minako, a priestess of the Temple of Nyx, home base of the Demon Dancers, they tour this grand city before meeting one more ally in their fight against the darkness. And there you have it, you're all caught up. This was a general overview of the world and the events that happened before Episode 1. Please continue to listen to the character recap, where our players talk in character to one another, recounting their journey from the beginning, and then proceed to Episode 1. Find Our Groove, New Beginnings. Disclaimer. Throughout the recording process, we have tested and tried different equipment and techniques and had many audio issues. The first couple episodes may sound a little rough around the edges, but with assistance from our sponsor Podigy, we've been able to greatly improve it. We apologize for any inconvenience and hope you are able to enjoy our story. So let's remove the bookmark and continue our epic tale.